Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll talk with an individual who's come up with a system that would help you going to a stadium to be able to see the first down line like you see it on TV. How'd you like that? And we'll get your thoughts later in the hour on what you'd like to see at stadiums that would enhance your fan experience going to games. It's coming up. Keep it here, SportsCenter Saturday on ESPN Radio and ESPNRadio.com. He is the developer of a laser system that would allow you going to a stadium, watching a football game to see where the first down marker is, just like you can at home watching the yellow line. We'll talk with him about that and why the NFL hasn't already jumped on board with this technology. And then about a half an hour from now, just under that, we'll be taking your phone calls on what you as a fan going to a stadium, what would enhance your experience? What would you like to see available to you and make it realistic? What would you like to see available to you? And you think maybe that the various leagues and sports should adopt. What should they do to help make it a better experience for you at the ballpark or stadium? Wilson, it's SportsCenter Saturday on ESPN Radio, ESPNRadio.com. Coming up, I think you'll really enjoy this. We're going to have a chance to talk coming up with an individual who's come up with laser technology that will help be able to show you at the stadium or ballpark where that first down line is. And the NFL is looking at it. They haven't embraced it yet. We're going to talk with them about where it stands right now, what it's all about. That's coming up next, and we'll be taking your phone calls after that on ways to enhance your experience going to the stadium. It's coming up. Keep it here. SportsCenter Saturday on ESPN Radio. SportsCenter Saturday here on ESPN Radio, ESPNRadio.com. Joining afternoon drive host, Cincinnati's ESPN 1530, Mo Egger. I'm Chuck Wilson. This is interesting stuff. How'd you like to go to the football stadium, right? And be able to see the first down line the way you see it on TV. Every play. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Well, our next guest has been talking to the NFL about a system that he says will do just that. It's first down laser. The inventor and concept promoter is Amron. He developed the system. He initially met with the NFL back in 2003. After meeting with the NFL again in 2009, he's been working on refining the product to meet the NFL's requirements and make the system NFL ready. First down laser projects a 6-inch wide green laser beam for the bottom of the sideline first down markers across the field. Line can be seen anywhere in the stadium. It's controlled by the officials. It would give the players a point of reference on the field to see where the first down line actually is, as opposed to having to look to the sideline. The argument he's making is it might be able to help reduce player injury, and it would assist the officials with the spotting of the football. But how about that as enhancing your enjoyment going to the game? We welcome in Alan Amron, joining us via the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. With Mo, I'm Chuck. Alan, appreciate your joining us. You've been talking to the NFL for a while now with this product. Why aren't they embracing it yet?
Well, over the years, they've explained to me at different competition committee meetings the different things they'd like to see us do, so we would update it, make it different, less expensive, a little safer. And then they'd explain to us things like instant replay took 7 years for them to implement, and then even in the 8th and 9th year, they revisited it every year to find out whether they wanted to keep instant replay. The overhead cam, they took about 6 or 7 years on that, and then they also figured every year they check it out and see if they're going to bring it back the following year, because if the ball hit the guy wire, is it in or not? So when you're dealing with the NFL on new technology, I've learned that you have to be very patient. But on the other hand, this year, fan experience is number one at the NFL. And fan experience with our line on the field is number one.
I know you have the patent on this, but do you get the sense that the NFL might be taking some form of what you're trying to do and incorporate their own method of helping people in the stadium, really helping anybody connected to the football game, have a better sense of where the first down marker is? Are they trying to do their own thing?
I don't see another way around it. The line on TV, everyone's used to now. The way I invented it was years ago. I watched it on TV like everybody else, loved it, got used to it. And then I went to a game sitting in the stands, and everybody around me is like saying, "Where's the yellow line? Where's the yellow line?" And then we found out it was only a graphic on TV, and that's when I started working on it. So I think the only thing that's going to really be fan experience number one at a football game. Doesn't have to be the NFL. It could be the CFL. It could be the NCAA, high school. The number one thing for the fan is to be able to follow the game. No matter where you're sitting in the stands, to follow the game, you have to know where they're running to. And a lot of people don't, especially if you're sitting up way up high in the stadium. You can't even see the flags in some cases.
Have you tried to do that? You think of the NFL. Now they've borrowed things, and if you look at the way the NFL is viewed on TV now, there are some principles they stole from the XFL. You mentioned the overhead camera, so the NFL certainly there's a history of taking things used in other leagues and applying it to what they do. Have you approached the arena leagues or the CFL or college football conferences and maybe see if they would try to use this first?
Yes, we've demonstrated to the UFL. We met with the Canadian Football League a couple of years ago, and they wanted us to do it, and then something fell through with one of the unions for the TV network, went on strike or something, so we didn't do it. We were supposed to do their championship game in Canada, I think about 3 or 4 years ago. And since then, just so you know, when the AP story hit the other day, we got a phone call and a text from the Canadian Football League saying they'd like to revisit this and they're very interested in adding it into their stadium.
Alan Amron joining us. The company is First Down Laser, and maybe you could tell us a little bit, how does the laser work at the stadium, and to what degree might it be impacted by weather or other elements?
Well, because it's being projected from the flag set, it doesn't create a big problem in the rain or in the snow because the line is projected across the field on top of the snow or while it's raining, and it just glitters a little bit. It's like any light show. You see a laser light show at Disney, and if it's raining out, you see it like glitters. But that's coming from shooting it in the sky. We're about 6-7 inches off the ground, aimed down. So our line is smeared across the field 55 yards from one side to the other, and it could be seen from everywhere in the stadium.
There's more, by the way, at firstdownlaser.com. Alan, can you detect it on film? Can you see it when they go to the replay booth if they're trying to make a measurement? Would it be something that would enhance officials make a determination via replay?
Yes, because right now, when the yellow line started, it was only on one camera. Then they moved it to 2 cameras. Now I think they have it on several cameras, but not all cameras. Like in the Super Bowl, if they have 28 different cameras, they don't have the yellow line graphic on every single angle. With ours, the line is on the field, so every single camera angle will catch our line.
You've designed this with referees in mind, and you've made them part of the process using a remote on their wristband to turn on or off the first down laser. I know you've talked with league officials. Have you spoken with referees about this being something that would help them do their jobs, or them having one more piece of responsibility during the course of a football game?
That's interesting. I met with Mike Guerra, who is the head of officiating at a league meeting about 5 years ago or something like that. There were some owners there. There were some coaches there. Pat Summerall and I made a presentation. It was the competition committee meeting, and Guerra had a couple of comments to make as, well, if the line's there, would that show up my guys? And they put the ball down in the wrong spot, things like that. So we want to put the line. He was making suggestions like, let's leave the line off during the play and then put it on later on, or leave it on during the play and shut it off after the play. So they were playing with that. The new people up at the NFL, we haven't really been working with them yet, but it's interesting. I have an interview with the Referee magazine that all these guys are a part of because they're interested in knowing more about our line as well, and I'm doing that, I think, on Monday.
Alan Amron, founding partner at Thought Development. He has more than 40 years' experience as a professional entrepreneur, inventor, and concept promoter. And one of the things he has invented, going back in time, back in 1973, he invented a product he called the Press-On Memo. You might know it as the Post-it Note. So you've got some cred. Definitely, Alan, with some ideas here. By the way, is there an issue here on the royalties that you're looking for? I mean, is there a financial part of this that may be standing in the way?
Oh, no, not at all. We're working with the manufacturer of the flag set, the dial-it-down flag set. The NFL introduced us to them. They supply the flag sets for the NCAA exclusively and the NFL exclusively, and we're working with them where we're going to mount our projector on their flag sets and they're going to sell them. So we're not looking for a royalty. Actually, we haven't even discussed any of that. I don't think that's an issue right now. I think the issue is it has to work and it has to be safe, and they got to approve it. That's first.
Alan Amron, thank you so much. Be well.
Appreciate it, Chuck. Thank you, Mo.
You got it. You're on ESPN Radio, ESPNradio.com. So it's interesting, this whole technology, and we're going to talk more about it with you. I want you to hop on the Fresh Take Hotline, or Subway Fresh Take Hotline, and tell us what would enhance your experience going to the stadium. Well, what technology or what would you like to have included? What would you like to see the leagues do, football or another sport? Give us a call. I'd like to hear from you. It's 1-888-SAY-ESPN, 1-888-729-3776. You can reach us via Twitter, at Mo Egger 1530, at Chuck Wilson POV. And we look forward to your phone calls. 1-888-SAY-ESPN, 1-888-729-3776. Weigh in on this technology and what you'd like to see at ballparks. It's coming up here on ESPN Radio and ESPNradio.com.